Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please click on like and subscribe. If you've been here before, welcome back. Make sure you take a minute to drop comments down below. They help out the analytics on the video, help the channel grow. So in this video, we're going to be making a custom walnut box for a customer. We're going to start with a plain piece of walnut, and we're just going to go through the process of making this box. It's going to be about a 1/4 inch thick when we're done, and it's going to have a 1/2 inch lid that I'm going to CNC route the inside out with. If you don't have a CNC machine, you can also just glue the pieces together to make the outside edges of the box lid. So the first thing I'm going to do is smooth off the edges of this board, because this is going to be our box. After I get the ends smoothed off, I'm going to go ahead and cut down the sizes that I need. I'm going to cut them close to the exact size. I'm not going to cut the exact size I need in case I need to shave a little off or something gets caught in the planer or joiner. I can fix it. So I'm going to go a little bit wider than I need at the beginning just to get my rough pieces. So I'm using 1 inch walnut. So to save a little bit of wood and make it more cost effective, I'm going to split the wood in half. I'm going to use a bandsaw to do that. I'm going to cut it into basically 6 pieces. I'm going to use 5 of the 6 pieces. The 2 sides and the bottom and the top that I'm going to use the ends for, I'm going to cut them evenly. The top itself, I'm going to cut it a little bit thicker, so I end up with about a 1/2 inch piece on that. So I'm going to cut it at 3/4 of an inch so I can plane it down to 1/2 inch. Once I get that done, we're over to the planer and I'm running all my pieces through. Again, I'm leaving my top a little bit thicker because I want to hang down over the edge the same thickness as the wood, which is, again, roughly 1/4 inch. So I'm using a 1/2 inch board on the top and grinding out a 1/4 inch of the inside of it. Once I get everything planed, I'm going to go ahead now and make my sizes exactly what size I need. Again, this is a custom size box. You can make it 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches. This is a little bit different project, so my measurements are going to be probably different than yours. So now I'm just roughly fitting the pieces together to make sure they're all what I need. If I need to trim any up a little bit, I can make any adjustments now instead of waiting until I get it glued together and try to figure out how to trim it off or smooth it out. It will overhang a little bit in some places, but I'm going to sand it off if it's imperfect. So I've got everything cut to width. I'm going to go ahead and cut everything to length now. As you notice, I stacked all the pieces up together at the same time. I've got a nice flush end on it. When I cut this off, they'll be all the same length. That we don't have to worry about a piece hanging over too far, too short. They're all cut at the same time. So the next process is just gluing up. I've got these 2 little clamps here. I've got several of them, but they're about $22 a piece. When I first bought them, I thought I'm never going to use these things, but they actually come in great handy when you're trying to build small boxes like this. At least for me, they do. When you're working by yourself, you only got 2 hands, so everything you've got that can hold things in place helps. Now I'm putting these clamps on. I'm making sure I put the clamps on where I don't bow the box in or out. So when you clamp, this is steady pressure, but it's not a ton of pressure. The glue is going to set just fine in probably 20-30 minutes. You'll never get them apart without breaking the boards. But I'm still going to leave them clamped for about 30-40 minutes between taking them off and on, because you'll notice as the video goes on, the clamps are in a different position, but there is some time passed in between each time I move the clamps around. And I'm also making sure I clean out any glue squishes. I want to get these on up top and the bottom, which is technically the sides, before it dries, because I don't want it to dry with a curve in it. By putting my end pieces on before it fully dries, that'll allow me to stretch it back out if it does tend to bow in a little bit on you. Make sure you get plenty of glue on there. You want some glue squish out, but you don't want it running down your project. And when you get done, it looks like Frankenstein. So the next day, my glue's all dried. I've got it out of the clamps. I'm doing some measurements here for the CNC machine. Again, if you don't have a CNC machine, you don't need one. You can just measure the top piece like I just measured that there, measure the sides, and glue it all together so you can have an overhanging box. The CNC machine just kind of makes a nice clean top without any lines in it anywhere. The problem with the CNC machine is if you're off any at all, it takes a little bit longer to get the box lid to fit tightly. So I'm back over the planer, adjusting my thickness for my lid. Once I get it down to where I want it at, we're going to go over to the CNC machine. We're going to glue it down. If you want, you can clamp yours in place if you're doing CNC. I just tend to glue them down. I've got my measurements. I got my program set up there. I'm going to line my machine up and hit the button and give it about 45 minutes for it to do its job. So back over the bench, I'm going to clean out the dust and I'm going to give it its first test fit and find out how close I am. And in this case, I am pretty close. My sides are perfect. My ends are a little bit too long, so I'm going to have to do some sanding to get the end pieces to fit down in there better. So now that I have the fit that I want, I'm going to go over to the router. We're going to route the edges around, just smooth them over, put whatever design you want on there, and then we're going to go to the laser and engrave the top of it. That part probably takes longer than anything. That's probably a 3.5 hour burn, just because of the size of it and the font style. Once you get it out of there, we're going to take it over. We're going to sand it off to get the extra scoring off of it. I'm going to clean it with isopropyl alcohol to get any of the burn residue out of the burn lines, and then we're going to start oiling it. Now this is wax and feed. It's mineral oil and beeswax. And we're just going to clean it all up real good. Make sure everything looks good on it. Check for any glue squish out or something that we missed. Make sure you get all the corners. I'm going to put it on there wet. So it's going to actually be like wet. And then after a few minutes, I'm going to take a microfiber towel and dry it off. Now, if you have an air compressor, this is where it comes in handy to get the excess oil out of the lettering. If you're using an oil base, which this is, it's not super important to get it out of there, but if you're using a wax of some sort, you definitely want to get any type of wax out of there. It's kind of like a car. If you're using wax on your car and you get it in some cracks and don't get it out, you end up with white lines on there, so you gotta make sure you get all that out of the grooves. So we're just using an air compressor here. And again, I've got a nice clean microfiber towel. And we're going to do that until it stops basically spraying oil out of it a little bit. That'll also make your letters nice and dark. Hope everyone enjoyed watching the video. Please take a minute, click on like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, and let us know what you think.